moment with a lot of emotions when you hand the keys over to a new driver. We want you to buckle up, slow down, and please no texting while driving. Our family cares about your family, and your safety is our #1 priority. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less. Visit us at one of our 4 convenient locations or dingmans.com.
Good evening, folks. We are here live. Number 7, Papillion-La Vista. Number 9, Omaha Westside. Top 10 volleyball matchup here on this wonderful Tuesday night. My name is Jaden Taylor. Alongside me tonight is Tallie Pease. As always, we have a great match between these teams. They've seen each other twice. They've seen each other for a third time. Big night in volleyball.
You know, it really is. Both times that these teams have seen each other this season have been in a tournament setting, and they've gone split. You know, Westside won when they saw each other in the Bell East tournament, and Papillion-La Vista just brought them down this past weekend in the tournament hosted by Millard West. So, you know, this really could go either way.
It's a really big game for the Warriors, especially not struggling this season, but definitely not where they wanted to be with how much talent this team has. Looking at the recent schedule for this team, it's not been, like I said, where they wanted to be since we saw them up against Bellevue East, a 2-3 loss up against Gretna, a 2-3 loss up against Lincoln Southwest, a really good win back at home up against Omaha Berks the last time we saw them at home. A reminder, this is only the 3rd home game of this season for the Warriors. It's been a really long time away from home. Then the Papillion-La Vista invite this past weekend, easy win over Duchesne, a really big loss up against Lincoln Southwest. Again, really earlier close last week, blown out up against Lincoln Southwest this past weekend. They barely squeaked by Papillion-La Vista this past weekend. Lincoln East barely loses to Westside on that second day. But Westside definitely not in the area that they wanted to be coming into this part of the season.
Right, well, Corinne said it over and over going into this season that they've got so much talent. It's just really figuring out where all the pieces fit together, like a puzzle. This team has switched it up so many different times that they really have just got to really figure out where those pieces fit together.
And a big thing with this team is just being able to finish games. It's been so tough for this team, especially in their five-set games, their regular season games, non-tournament games. 4 of their 8 losses this season have gone to the final set of their non-tournament losses. Of course, tournaments 2 out of 3 rather than the 3 out of 5 for regular season home and away matchups. In those regular season matchups, again, we talked about the game against Gretna, a 2-3 loss. They were up 2-1 in that series, then blew 2 straight up against Gretna. Lincoln Southwest were up 2-0, then lost 3 straight back-to-back-to-back, and that's a top 5 team in the state that has been blowing out a lot of other teams. Westside was that close, but couldn't quite get to it.
Right, and I know that Lincoln Southwest, those losses sting really bad, especially for senior Madeline Siebler. They have had a really tough time against Lincoln Southwest in particular. I know that she really wanted to beat them this year, but like you said, they really just aren't finishing this year, and they've got to figure out how to do that. I talked to a couple of the players, one in particular, Destiny Dedam Simpson, and she really just talked to me about how, you know, they've got all of the talent, they've got all of the athleticism. They just really had to figure out how to grit through those last couple of sets, those last couple of plays, and push for those last points to come out on top of every match.
And with that as well, you know, we talked about Corinne wanting to change some things up. There's some changes we're going to see here tonight. We saw them change after that Papillion-La Vista, that Bellevue West tournament going into against Lincoln Southwest, and after Gretna, a couple harsh losses in those, and they try to switch it up. We saw the 6-2 formation to start off the year. Corinne maybe wanted to see how that can change, moving to a 5-1. Jocelyn Healy, this is going to be a player that we're going to see a lot tonight, talk about later here in the KB pregame show. She's moving from libero to be the main setter. I know we saw Lucy Lowe a little bit as a freshman in that spot. Madeline Siebler getting a little bit uncomfortable in that spot so far this season. She's going to be straight up at the right side, and a big person to see as well for this team. How can Daniela Goligan continue her amazing ability defensively?
Well, that's going into this season. they always knew that the setter position was going to be a big question for them. Losing Audrey Behrens was a really, really big hit to the team in the offseason. So they spent a lot of their, preseason, beginning of the season, really trying to nail down some of that hitter-setter connection. And I don't blame Corinne for really switching things up this late in the season. They've got so much talent in this team. There's so much depth that they can afford to really change things up a little bit and still pull through in games. And we haven't seen a ton of evidence of that in this game, but the problem has never been talent or connection between the players. It's always just been, finding that grit, finding that resilience during the game.
So with that I know you mentioned it a little bit of a really late switch for this team. I mean, they have played the least amount of games of any top 10 Class A team this season. Both these past 2 weekends. This past weekend was the first tournament that they've played since the Bellevue West tournament over 3.5 weeks ago. It's a big difference, especially for a team like this. I guess you have a lot more time in practice to be able to change up those things. But a big question is, how much time is it going to take for these things to truly click for them to be ready once it comes state tournament and district time?
Well, something that Corinne and team captain Madeline Siebler were super proud about at the beginning of the season is how much this team has really bonded and come together. So, like I said earlier, I don't really think it's, finding a solid routine that's going to be the cure-all for this team. I think that they've really got what it takes to pull through no matter what position they're in. Daniela Goligan as a libero, she's played libero a couple times, so she's really, she's got some experience. All of these players on this team have experience both in high school volleyball and in club volleyball, and it's going to show on the court eventually. They just have to figure a way to really shine through.
Yeah, and with that, so the Warriors currently not going to be hosting a district if they stay where they're at. Currently 12th overall in the Class A wildcard standings. Currently set up to be a 2 seed in districts. I know a big thing for this team, I talked with Kenzie Tekrani, it's kind of been odd for them. It's been 2 years straight to where they've had an away-packed schedule, and it's really hard for them to not be able to have a lot of these home games to where they can get this atmosphere, this community, this Westside community they've been able to deal with. So being able to get up to that 7th spot is going to be really big for them. And looking at the district, the wildcard standings overall, they're really in the middle of the pack to be able to get up to that 7th spot. Of course, that 7th spot will be the last number 1 seed. And guess who's at that 7th spot currently? Papillion-La Vista, who they are playing tonight. A lot of good teams that are going to be working around there. Norfolk, Lincoln High, both above them. Bellevue West, they're a really big team this season. I don't think a lot of us really expect to be as good of a team this year, especially losing Destiny, losing a couple other players as well. They just keep regenerating, and they're another really top 10 team as well. Lincoln Pius, after losing the Markowski sisters, is still churning through a lot of really good teams. So Westside has a lot to do to be able to get to a 1 seed.
Right, well, it's really, the end of the season is really when Westside tends to really dig in and push hard. The beginning of the season, like you said, they're still working out a lot of kinks. Corinne is still changing up the lineup, even though they're this far in the season. This is the time where this team tends to really, really push hard. They get into, the nitty-gritty of their season. This is where they have the most fun.
There's a lot of top competition in Class A, and looking at the ratings overall, Papio South 23-0 this season, one of the top 15 teams in the country this season. They've been going out to a lot of other state things. I think they went out to Florida, they went out to Missouri for a couple tournaments. They have been a team that has just been blowing out the entirety of the rest of Class A. Millard West, a really good group this season after really being a junior-heavy team last year. They're a senior-heavy team this year, and they're looking to compete with one of the top in the state. Elkhorn South at 3, Lincoln Southwest 4, Gretna at 5, who's going to be a really big piece that we see maybe later on this season in a couple tournaments. Bellevue West, like we talked about earlier, Papio-La Vista at 13-10 at the 7th spot, Lincoln Pius at the 8, Westside, of course, at the 9, and then Millard South, a 7-10 team at the 10th spot. They've had some big wins this season.
Right, that really honestly surprises me. Millard South is generally a team that comes to compete, and they work really, really hard. I will say I am a little bit glad that Westside is above them, because I honestly do think that we have the talent this year to go far, and I think that they deserve to be above Millard South, but it's kind of sad to see Millard South down there too. In terms of, Papio South, Millard West at the top, those teams are generally ones that produce like D1 college athletes. Those programs are so well put together. I know the Rolfson twins moved to or they went out to UNL, and they were big players for UNL for the 4 years that they were there. And Katie Rolfson went to play USA Volleyball, so that's just one product of Papillion-La Vista South Volleyball that has gone far, and Papillion-La Vista South will continue to produce good players.
And talking about producing D1 talent, Westside is becoming a D1 powerhouse. Kenzie Tikrani just over this past weekend committed to Dartmouth. She is looking to be a neuropsychologist at Dartmouth. And talking with her just about her commitment on Dartmouth specifically, she loves the ability to have that not lackadaisical, but that commitment to be able to be both a student and an athlete. The coaches that she talked to there over at Dartmouth were really open to her to allowing the team to have that time to be able to get their homework done, to get a lot of their rigorous courses done, to be able to make sure that they feel the best and they're the mentally best and ready to be able to go into games and go into sets and all this kind of stuff. And with this team overall, you're seeing more and more D1 talent. Montana State commit and Madeline Siebler, the senior this season. A Hawaii commit, a person from Nebraska going out to Hawaii and being at her dream school, Destiny Dom Simpson heading out there. And of course, Kenzie Tikrani heading to Dartmouth. This team is growing. This program is growing. This has been something that we've seen really in Westside volleyball's history.
Well, I know that Corinne, head coach Corinne Bowers, she came into this program 4 years ago, and her goal was really to grow the program in total and not just the varsity team. And there's proof of that in the amount of underclassmen and, non-seniors that are finding volleyball commitments and who are coming to Westside to play volleyball. The fact that the Westside program and Corinne Bowers could attract Destiny Dom Simpson, who's now a D1 athlete, or preparing to be a D1 athlete. It's really, really incredible, and it's made a huge impact on the volleyball team.
And speaking with D1 talent, some more recognition that we've seen from this past week. Last time we saw him, Madeline Siebler, 1,000 career digs last Tuesday up against Omaha Burke. It was a series and entire school sweep for Westside up against Omaha Burke. All three of their levels swept entirely, did not allow Burke even one set. And Madeline Siebler, we always talked so much about her setting ability this season. We talked so much about her killing ability last season. I don't think really many people thought about her digging ability.
Well, Madeline Siebler, like many other girls on this team, is such an all-around player. I mean, she really can hold her own in any field of the court. That's part of the reason why Corinne Bowers was so comfortable with putting her in this setting position at the beginning of the season. She is athletic. She's so good at communicating, and she's a huge leader on this team. It's no surprise to me that she was able to hit this huge mark in her high school volleyball career.
So we'll be back here on the KB pregame show. Top 10 matchup right after this. Back here on the KB pregame show, Another top 10 matchup here for the Warriors. Only the third game this season, home game for the Warriors. And looking at one of the last times these two teams met, the first time that Westside was able to take down Papillion-La Vista in the Bellevue West tournament, it was somewhat of a surprise for this team. Papillion-La Vista has been a powerhouse in Class A. They've just continually been able to get into the state tournament, one of the top teams consistently throughout in volleyball, but Westside able to upset them in the Bellevue West tournament. That really sufficed them to be able to get into the championship bracket, which was a huge thing that Corinne wanted to talk about.
Well, that was their first top 10 Class A matchup of the season. I mean, their first game was Omaha North, and then going into the Bell West, they dropped their first game against an out-of-state team. So I know that pushing that game and also the one against Duchesne was a really, really big deal to them, and that's why they found the energy to win that one. Even though it went to 3 sets and it went to 28 points for Westside, they found their grit in that match. It's a surprise that it didn't come back in the most recent game.
So looking at these two teams statistically, although Papillion-La Vista does have a better record, these two teams are very similar just in 2 different ways.
Right. Well, you know, kills per set, that's actually changed as Westside has added some of their stats. It's now gone up to 11.2, so that's even a more similar, kills per set. So these teams just statistically are so similar, you know. Westside even brings more competition in terms of blocks. The big difference is that Westside has not played near as many games as Papillion-La Vista. So for them to have 65.2 digs per match is huge in not as many games. And
one of the big reasons we've seen that hype in digs has been number 10, Jocelyn Healy. Leads the team in digs per match, aces, points, and receptions, and is second in assists. And Healy, although has been not a small piece, but not as overshadowed piece to some of the top 10 recruits that we've seen for this team, she's been huge for this team's success.
Right, and one thing that Corinne Bowers talked about a lot going into this season is that Jocelyn Healy is one of those very calming presences on the volleyball court. She really has a level head, and that's why she makes such a good libero, and that's why she makes such a good setter, is because she's really a team leader. She's allowed to bring the team down a notch and calm them down. And a big thing to see here for Papillion-La Vista tonight is going to be number 4, Morgan Glosser. A big piece to this team. See what we're going to see next year. We'll get into starting lineups here on the KB pregame show. Once we come back, we'll start this one, a big top 10 matchup for the Warriors.
Good luck to both teams. This time we ask you to face the tower and we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Let's meet the teams. First, the non-starters, and we'll start with the Monarchs. Number 6, Lily Ziebart. Number 7, Mackenzie Povich. Number 8, Lauren Burton. Number 9, Julia Davenport. And number 10, Allison Sander. Number 15, Ella Hofer. Here are the non-starters for your Warriors. Number 1, Carly Hanna. Number 2, Anna Snodgrass. Number 3, Peyton Cabinez. Daniela Golden. Number 6, Brooke Martin. Number 7, Aubrey Barron. Number 13, Lucy Lowe. And number 17, Eleanor Braceland. And now here's the starting lineup. First, the Monarchs from Papillion-La Vista High School. Number 1, Reagan Beckenhauer. Number 2, Anna Sitz. Number 3, Reagan Hickey. Number 4, Morgan Glazer. Number 11, Mia Taverdi. Number 12, Carly A. Olive. And the libero, number 5, Sam Riggs. The Monarchs are coached by head coach John Savela, assisted by Greta Huber, Priscilla O'Dowd, Autumn Noor, Justice Stadler, and Steph Gaston.
Starting lineup for your Westside Warriors. 6'1" sophomore, number 5, is Caroline. 5'6" junior, number 10, Jocelyn Healy. 5'11" senior, number 11, Madeline Siegler. 6'2", junior, number 18, Destiny and Tom Simpson. 6'1", junior, number 19, Vincent Tech Brody. And 6'1", junior, number 23, Samantha Laird. The libero, 5'6", junior, number 4, Daniela Golaga. The Warriors are coached by head coach Robin Powers, Krista Philippi on the assistant side, along with Bergen Roderson and Jackson Jordan. Officials for tonight's contest are Christina Modrell and Vicki Ham. These individuals are members of the NSAA. Their experience and integrity qualify them to administer the rules of the game. An attitude of good sportsmanship should be upheld by all spectators, players, and coaches, no matter what your personal feelings or loyalties may be in this contest. It's time to volley.
Getting ready for this one here at Westside High School. Real quick before we start this one, let's look at our Vikings Industrial Painting keys to the game. And for Westside, a big thing for them is being able to find a rotation that fits this team's chemistry.
Yeah, we've talked about it a ton tonight already, and they really, Corinne's not a coach that's afraid to switch things up. She's not afraid to, make a change here and there. And Madeline Siebler told me yesterday, Corinne's not afraid to tell the truth. If something isn't working for this team, she's going to do something to fix it. She's going to try to find what works. That's probably the only reason why they've switched up so much.
So looking here for Papillion-La Vista, their big thing is to continue and be able to finish games like Westside, but be able to continue their strong defense as we start this one and get this one underway as Jocelyn Healy puts the first serve in. And she's able to get the first point of the night.
Coming in for the Monarchs, number 10, Allison Sanker. Certainly, number 3, Reagan Hickey.
There's the set. Madeline Siebler puts it over. A dig again from Jocelyn Healy. Daniela Goligan sets it up. And we see Siebler on the outside over there. And now Samantha Laird takes the serve. It was up and good and in and shanked. That's an ace for Samantha Laird. Dig by Samantha Laird there. Outside Destiny to Dom Simpson. And the ball is called in. There's another point for Westside. Tip from Madeline Siebler and a net violation call for Papillion-La Vista, so the point goes back to Westside. There's another ace for Samantha Laird, and now this has turned into a 5-point serving run. This is something that Westside focuses a lot on, is going on those long runs with their serves and trying to keep the ball as long as possible.
So Laird will continue here. Good serve once again. Straight up the middle, blocked by Isabel Lamb, and it'll be a net violation, so this point will go back to the Monarchs. Big thing here tonight, we see Isabella Lamb in, not Kenzie Ticrani to start off the night. Does that mean anything different?
I just think it means that they wanted somebody else up front. You know, you've got Madeline Siebler and Destiny Adam-Simpson both in the front row at the same time. That's a lot of power up front. So it's important that you put somebody else who has as much power as Samantha Laird also in the front. And Samantha Laird and Kenzie Ticroni have done such a wonderful job at the net together, blocking and attacking. Other teams really can never figure out what's coming from either one of them. So I think that'll be really, really fun to see later on in this match.
Beautiful kill from Destiny Adam-Simpson. That's her first of the night. And Anna Snodgrass will come in to serve this one to start it off. Dig there from Laird. Little tip coming from Siebler, not able to get it over. And Glazer was the one able to keep that one back in. It's 6-3 in favor of the Warriors still. We'll see a switch here. Isabella Lamb comes back out. Daniela Goligan will come back in. So is Kenzie Ticrani. Sam Riggs with the serve. Laird looking for the big kill. Back to the out. Tipped out. Excuse me, that was Siebler. Siebler with the big kill, and Westside with some momentum here early.
This is something that Westside's been able to do in every game, is make a showing really, really early in the game. They really get ahead in the very first set, but like we've mentioned earlier, is they have to be able to finish. They have to keep the same momentum going for the entirety of the match.
Up the middle, Siebler. Big kill at Sem. Papillion-La Vista able to keep this one alive. Healy to Ticroni, little tip. Riggs have to get out to the outside. Beautiful dig there from Siebler. Ticroni has another net violation. Excuse me, 2 touches from Westside. Another point will go back to Papillion-La Vista.
That's something we might see a couple times tonight. You know, Jocelyn Healy, she's a libero. She's obviously comfortable using her hands, but she's not been put in the setter position a ton, and it's a huge adjustment to make. When you're only playing defense and you use your hands, your only goal is to get the ball up. They don't call double touches on the first touch, especially when a team is being hit at really, really hard by the other team. When you're a setter, it's really, really important that you use both hands at the same time, or else they will catch you on that double touch every ball.
Sanders with the serving error to Simpson. This one's tipped out. That one went long, but tipped out of bounds from Madeline Siebler. And Papillion-La Vista keeping themselves into it. So we talked about being able to finish games for these Warriors. It's been a big thing and a big emphasis for Corinne Bowers going into this year. And Westside once again able to keep a lead here in the first set. We'll see if they can try to pull away as Grazer serves this one over. Siebler with the dig. Westside just going to have to give this one up. And the Simpson tip across the middle. And that'll be a kill. Number 12, Carly Ehlers. And Papillion-La Vista, we talked so much. This game is a game of runs back and forth. And the Monarchs trying to bring one of their own. Grazer with the serve. Little slide out the outside. Ticrani unable to get the kill. Back out to the outside for Sis. Tipped up. And great job by Dom Simpson to keep it alive. Laird, open kill. Beautiful set from Daniela Goligan. And Laird with her second kill of the night.
Something that Bowers talked a lot about going into this game, especially with Jocelyn Healy setting, is that now you've got Samantha Laird, Destiny Dom Simpson, and Madeline Siebler all as pin hitters. That's a lot of firepower coming at Papillion-La Vista from the other side of the net.
A little bit of miscommunication there. Simpson just couldn't quite get that last ditch attempt back over. And on to serve for Papillion-La Vista is Carly Ehlers. Back to the far side, Samantha Laird is blocked. A net violation from Papillion-La Vista. The Westside keeps their 3-point lead. Papillion-La Vista just got to keep this one alive. A little bit of a tip. Dive from Healy. Papillion-La Vista now back across the middle. Beautiful tip. But net violation up in the middle. And the Monarchs will get their point back.
This is the second time in this game that I've noticed that Westside is kind of doing something that I wasn't expecting with their rotation, in that Madeline Siebler and Jocelyn Healy are playing opposite. So technically Madeline Siebler is the right side hitter. But at the net, Madeline and Samantha Laird have been switching, so Madeline is playing outside.
Laird here with a tip, able to keep it alive is Sander. Beautiful kill right there from Anna Sis. Sis, it's her first of the night. Outside, Siebler, a little bit of a missed touch there, and this game is back up. It's tied. Papillion-La Vista has come back. And Corinne Bowers will take a timeout. Papio, after down by 4, has come back in this one, and this one is back tied here in the first set. We'll take a quick break here on WTV Live. When we come back, more second set action as the Warriors and Monarchs try to battle this one out. Back here in the top 10 matchup here at Westside High School, Jaden Taylor alongside Tallie Pease. Papio, after down 4 here in this first set, has come back. We talk so much, this game is a game of runs, but defensively, the Monarchs have done a really good job receiving here tonight.
Well, and so have the Warriors. I mean, Papillion-La Vista doesn't have any aces yet tonight. The Westside Warriors have done a really, really great job, you know, taking that serve and setting the ball up right away. It's really when they go on to those long rallies that they start to struggle and things start to come apart a little bit.
First ace of the night. Reagan Hickey able to just barely get that one over the net. A diving Madeline Siebler wasn't able to get to it. So Papio with their first lead of the night.
Out of rotation call there from Westside. Not something that you normally see on a varsity volleyball team, but with the amount of switching up that this team has done, it's not really all that surprising.
So Hickey will send this one over once again. Simpson, Healy out to Laird. Big kill blocked. Westside will try to keep it here again. Siebler with the kill. Beautiful down the middle. Two diving Monarchs unable to get to it. And it's back to a 1-point ball game.
I talked earlier about how Jocelyn Healy is really this calming personality on the court. Well, another reason that she really fits the setter position well is that she's not afraid to use her hands or to pass the ball up to set the ball well. Just like we saw there with Madeline Siebler, you know, Jocelyn Healy was able to put it up so well that Siebler got a kill out of it, and that's really what a setter has to do.
This one goes long, and Westside is tied back up. Laird continuing to show her strong ability serving. This one goes in the far corner. That one is blocked. Destiny and Adam Simpson puts a wall on that one, and Westside is back in front. Beautiful kill right there from number 11, Mia Taverdi. Taverdi, only a sophomore. We saw her a lot in the Bellevue West tournament. Was one of the star players throughout that one for Papio. It's why they were able to get all the way to the semifinals of that tournament. She's got a lot of growing and ability to add on to her ability for the next couple of years. Healy back out to Siebler. Beautiful kill. Just barely tipped out from Sam Riggs, and Riggs had nothing to do on that harsh kill.
It's really, really hard to receive the ball when it's coming straight at your face, which is generally how Madeline Siebler likes to put the ball over the net. She is not one to aim for corner shots. She aims directly at players. It's almost a direct challenge.
Another block up the middle from Decrani. This one will go out to Sander, and she's able to get the kill. They'll tie back up once again, these two teams. Two top 10 teams that we've seen play each other all season. Is this a time to where maybe both teams are getting to notice and might know a little bit more about the other strengths and the other weaknesses that they played so many times?
Well, I would agree with that, actually, is that they've seen each other twice so far in this season. You know, these players know the other players' styles. They know which players like to hit which corner, which players like to tip more.
Simpson with a big kill. Westside takes over once again. Westside trying to break their top 10 losing streak. Last time they were able to beat a top 10 team was actually these Monarchs over in the Bellevue West tournament just about a month ago. And Tip unable to get it there. Looks like Decrani mistimed her jump, and it's tied back up at 15.
I'm actually going to pin that one on Healy, as much as I hate to. That, you know, that one set that Decrani was going for, she really, really hits that really beautifully. And it's up to Jocelyn Healy to put the set exactly where Decrani wants it.
Siebler, another long kill right in the face. Papillion-La Vista is going to have a long one here and does not get over. So Siebler's ability right at you. And a tip back out, and Westside takes over.
Destiny and Adam Simpson back there to take the serve. You know, with Destiny and with Kenzie up at the net, this Westside team has seen something that they haven't seen in the past couple of years, and that's a big, big presence at the net blocking. We've seen it already a few times tonight. They're really, really able to put up a wall at the net that Papio is going to have a really tough time trying to find a way through.
Grazer looking for a second kill. That one goes long. Westside adds another one. And Grazer, although we talked so much about her going into this match, has somewhat struggled here tonight. Does not have a kill and has had 2 errors on her kill attempts. A little bit of tip here. Daniela Golgan able to keep this one alive at the net and just goes out. Healy, great set, little tip from Laird. This one will go out to Sis. And Adam Simpson able to keep it alive. It gives it back to Papio, Healy out to Siebler, and that one just goes long. And Papio once again stays around in this one. It's tied back up at 17.
Another great thing about the way that Westside does their rotation is that they've not only got options in the front row, they've also got lots of options in the back row. Healy is in the front row herself right now, so they've lost their right side hitter, but they've gained 2 more hitters with Destiny Simpson and Madeline Siebler in the back row. And
Laird.
both players can really take a huge shot from behind the 10-foot line.
Talk about taking a huge shot right there. Samantha Laird with a huge kill. She continues her great night. It's her second kill of the night. Papio trying to keep this one back in. Barely keeps it in from Allers. Laird with another kill attempt. Great dig right there from Riggs. This one goes long. The great dig from Riggs comes up to be nothing, and Westside now is trying to inch their lead a little bit further. Papio has only led 1 time tonight here in this first set. Westside has consistently been ahead, but only ahead by at most 4 points tonight. This one goes out. Sis was trying to just put that one back over. Might have been a little bit of lackadaisical on that one, and Westside will force a Papio timeout. The Warriors up 20-17 here in the first set. They're going to take a minute, and so will we when we come back. Westside trying to end this first one. Westside up 20-17 here in the first set. And Tallie, I feel this Warriors team, again, hasn't been able to fully step on the throat of the Monarchs, but they're still keeping their big lead.
And I feel like a big thing that really has helped them with that is that this team has so much depth in terms of high school volleyball, but also in terms of club volleyball. And one of the big things that they gained from that is court awareness. You know, they know where the out-of-bounds lines are. They know where the 10-foot line is. They know where their fellow players are on the court, and it's really allowed them to, you know, see the ball, see where it's going, and predict what they need to do in order to keep the ball alive.
Reese going to have to keep it back away. Big block from the middle and assist. Able to block that kill attempt from Isabella Lamb. It's her first block of the evening.
Now serving number 12, Carly Allers.
Allers will come in to serve this one. Back deep to Nadam Simpson. Simpson looking for a long kill. That one goes out. And the big thing with Simpson, we've talked so much about her just brute ability and strength, but that can be a backfire, especially when you see a kill attempt like that.
Well, it's not really about strength. It's more about just controlling the ball, controlling the snap of your wrist, and how you control the ball going over the net.
Allers with the serve error. She'll come back out. Sam Riggs, the libero, will come back in. And Healy will serve here for the Warriors. They're 4 points away from taking home this first set. Riggs, a little bit miscommunication. Sis is just going to have to send it back over. Healy, Laird, big kill. This one's blocked at the net, but Papillion-La Vista able to keep it alive. Sis back in the far outside. That one goes long. And Anna Sis with her second hitting error of the night, and Westside continues to inch their lead, and Papillion-La Vista wants a timeout.
Well, that's just more of that court awareness. You know, Destiny Nadam Simpson and Danielle Gulligan in that corner, they know exactly where they are. They know exactly where the line is. If that ball is coming at them above their shoulders, chances are it's going out of bounds. So they just turn and watch it go out. In other plays, coaches really, you know, enforce following the ball to the line, but when you've got 2 experienced defenders in the back row, they know exactly what they're doing.
So big thing here as well, I mean, Westside has been able to keep a lead here and has been able to keep the momentum. This one's really been back and forth. Papillion-La Vista has stayed in this one. They've not done really too much wrong. Westside has just been able to capitalize on some of the mistakes of Papillion-La Vista. What do the Monarchs need to be able to do maybe later in this set to keep this one alive, or these next coming sets to really be able to stick with Westside and their momentum right now?
I'm going to say they've really got to figure out a way to put a crack in Westside's defense. You know, Westside losing Jocelyn Healy as libero was kind of a surprise because she leads the team in digs, but, you know, they've got so many experienced defenders on the team that Papillion's just going to have to really find those holes.
Kill there from Taverdi. And Papillion-La Vista trying to get back in this one. And talk about strength on both sides. I mean, it's not the biggest piece to these two teams, but if you want to do strength for strength, you really got to talk about Taverdi and Nadam Simpson.
Right, well, we know a lot about Nadam Simpson here at Westside. We know that she, you know, she's going to Hawaii for a reason. She's an amazing club volleyball player. She's an amazing high school volleyball player. She led Bell West to state last year. It's no surprise that she's a powerhouse for this team.
Kill right there from Madeline Siebler, her 5th of the night. And Westside just 2 points away from taking home this first set. Taverdi blocked up the middle. Isabella Lamb and Madeline Siebler on that one. And they say no on that block. And Westside 1 point away from taking home this first set.
So that's some more of that presence at the net. You know, Corinne loves it when they block. It gets everybody
Beautiful
fired up.
ace from Samantha Laird. And Westside takes home this first set. Sorry, Tallie, I had to get on that one. Big point there, Samantha Laird, continuing her dominance at the serve. Her 3rd ace of the evening. We head to the second set. Westside leads 1-0. We'll take a quick break here on WTV Live. When we come back, second set action, top 10 matchup.
It's a big moment with a lot of emotions when you hand the keys over to a new driver. We want you to buckle up, slow down, and please no texting while driving. Our family cares about your family, and your safety is our #1 priority. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less. Visit us at one of our 4 convenient locations or dingmans.com.
Westside takes set 1 here at Westside High School. And the big thing, finishing games. They take the first set. How are they going to be able to take the next 2?
Well, that's not something that it's proven. It's not something that they've done really, really well in the last of the season, but they really have to keep putting up a strong force both offensively and defensively. Already in this game, we've seen Siebler a ton at the net. We've seen Samantha Laird a ton at the net. We've seen a ton of blocks. They're putting such a big force up at the net. They're also, they've got a ton of digs as a team. They are really trying to cover as many bases as they can, and they have to keep that going.
10 digs for Westside so far tonight. Destiny Simpson and both Madeline Siebler lead the team tonight with 3 apiece. But that's a big thing to see, especially on that right and back side. We'll see Reagan Hickey serve it away here to start off set 2. Gulligan Healy back up the middle to Simpson. This one tipped. Back out to the outside. Sis, big kill, and that one gets down. Anna Sis with her second kill of the evening, and Papio strikes first here in the second set.
If Papio is playing this game as smart as I think they are, then they probably spent most of the first set just poking holes, probing at different spots in Westside's defense, figuring out what spot is most likely to crack first. Now that they know what Westside is doing and what Westside's routine is, they're going to nail those spots as hard as they possibly can.
Samantha Laird finds the corner beautifully, and Westside ties it back up. But a big thing on that play, although Samantha Laird able to get that big kill, talk about the block from Taverdi on that swing to Isabella Lamb. Taverdi able to keep that one alive. Really big athletic play. Siebler with the kill. Riggs able to keep this one here. Long one goes out from Allison Sander, and the Westside regains the lead. Like we've talked about here tonight in the first 2 sets, Papillion-La Vista has only led for 2 points here tonight. And Westside, big thing for Corinne Bowers, being able to finish games and put the foot to the gas pedal. We'll see what they can do here in the second set. Siebler here with the kill attempt. That one, easy dig there from Grazer. Tip from the middle. Great dig from Healy. Laird. Grazer across the middle. Laird, that one goes long. They don't call it a tip. Corinne Bowers wants a tip at the front. So do Westside fans. The referee will give it to the Monarchs. Setting here for the Monarchs will be Lily Zyberth. Kill here from Siebler. Wide open far corner of the court. And Siebler finds the openings. You talked about not always being able to be the one to find those corners, but right there, Siebler found an opportunity.
Well, something that I've noticed a lot is that they've been nailing that same back corner all night. I'm sure it's something that they noticed while watching film and something that they've noticed while playing this team before, is that back corner is a huge hole for Papillion.
Easy kill right there from Destiny Simpson. That's her second kill of the night. And Laird will serve away once again. Almost got an ace there. And they do. Touch over the net. Under the net, for Papillion-La Vista. And Laird continues to show her ability serving, her 4th ace of the evening. This one blocked at the net. Isabella Lamb with her first block of the evening.
You know, we talked about Glazer a lot going into tonight, but she's already got 4 hitting errors tonight and no kills. So tonight's not been easy for her.
Taverdi shows off a little bit too much strength there. That one just barely goes out. And Westside pulling away here in this first set. And Coach Shavel wants a timeout.
You know, like you said earlier, in the first set, Westside had not gotten a lead bigger than 4 points, and now they're up by 5. I think something that they're doing right now really, really well is tearing down Papillion's defense. I mean, they've hit that back corner multiple times in this set alone. And, you know, they were putting up a really strong presence up at the net. It's not surprising that they've been able to pull this big of a lead, but they've got to keep it going throughout the set and throughout the rest of this match.
So a big thing to think about as well. one of the best top 10 matches they've been able to go up against. The best team that they've really seen, probably maybe other than Scott this season, was Lincoln Southwest. Being able to keep that 3-2 matchup up against them. They take those first 2 matches, they fake those first 2 sets, but then they give away those next 3. How does that happen? Like, mentally, how can that happen? Are they getting too comfortable? Are they not putting the foot on the gas, like I said earlier? What could be the reason for not being able to keep in those games? I know it's a really big top 10 team. It's a really big mental group that is so good in Lincoln Southwest. What's the thing to combat that?
Well, we've talked a lot in this game about how Corinne likes to switch it up. She really likes to switch it up. I honestly don't think they're doing enough of it in a game setting. I think that after the first 2 sets, teams figure out that Destiny Dom-Simpson, Madeline Siebler, and Samantha Laird are all powerhouse hitters at the net, and that they're going to block those players as much as possible, and that's why these teams are taking the third, 4th, and 5th sets. They really, this Westside team is easy to figure out because they've got such big powerhouse hitters.
Healy going to give this one up to Siebler. And this one goes long. Once again, Glazer now with her 5th hitting error in just under 2 sets. And you'll see Kenzie Ticrani and Anna Snodgrass rotate into the game here for the Warriors. Snodgrass, a senior here for this team, has consistently been one of the serving specialists on this team that we've seen from Corinne Bowers. This one back of the tip. Laird's going to have to set this one up. Little tip, just barely gets over and gets down. Smart play there from Destiny Dom-Simpson, just barely falters. And Westside back up by 6.
Well, we saw in that play that Kenzie Ticrani, she was close to the ball, but she kind of just turned around and let somebody else take it. That's a big rule of thumb, is that you never let the middle blocker take that ball because there's such a big piece of, backing up that hitter and defending whatever might come back over the net.
Glazer here able to put a little bit less on it and finally able to find her first kill of the evening. And maybe Glazer trying to figure out what she had done wrong. Like we said earlier, 5 hitting errors on the night. Did not have a single kill up against that one right there. Able to find some adjustments, and Papillion-La Vista trying to find themselves here in the second set. Big kill once again. Morgan Glazer has found herself here, back-to-back kills. And right across the middle, a huge open hole in the Westside defense.
Well, after 5 hitting errors, you kind of start to realize that whatever is going wrong is a mental issue, and that's up to that player specifically to fix. So really, she probably just had to take a second, take a deep breath, and bring herself out of that funk.
Big block there from Carly Allers. We talked so much about how good Westside's been at the net, but haven't talked too much about how good Papillion-La Vista has been, and they're trying to creep back here in the second set. Wide open kill, and the block! Back-to-back blocks from Carly Allers, and that one's hard to do. Simpson came flying in. That one a beautiful set to her, but Allers was right above that one. And Papillion-La Vista with a lot of momentum here as this one tipped and is down. Another ace. Momentum is far on Papillion-La Vista's side. Is this a time for a timeout for Corinne Bowers?
Well, this is what I was talking about earlier. Westside's got to figure out a way to switch up what they've been doing. Papillion's played this team 2 times in this season. They know who they need to defend the most. That block against Destiny Dom-Simpson, all they have to do is put their arms up and the ball comes straight back down because of the amount of power that she puts back into it. Destiny has to know how to hit around that block.
So with that, does that take away any kind of confidence in these outside and pin hitters for these Warriors?
I actually think part of the fun of being an outside hitter is, facing those challenges and trying to find a way around them. Outside hitters generally have a lot of tools in their belt. They hit corners, they hit line, they tip. They do a little bit of everything. So it's up to them now to switch it up and really, explore some of their other options.
Glazer with the kill there, her 3rd kill of the night after 5 straight hitting errors. Glazer has found herself and found her hitting ability back. And Papillion-La Vista now just a point away from tying this one up here in the second set. Little swing here to Crony. Sis here on the outside. That one blocked and tipped out of bounds. Riggs was trying to keep that one alive. And Westside finally able to stop that run from Papillion-La Vista. And Simpson, a big time here to see that the Warriors can take away here in the second set. Allers with the kill. That one blocked and back out. Healy, big serve, Laird with the kill, and that one's down. Samantha Laird finds the opening in the Papillion-La Vista defense and brings that one home. It is her 4th kill of the evening.
Well, you know, when they're not quite able to close that block over there, Samantha sees that opening and she just goes straight for it. They really leave a big open spot on the court of Papillion when they don't close that block all the way. Big
serving error there from Nadam Simpson. We finally felt that Westside was trying to get their momentum back here in this one. And Papillion-La Vista trying to keep it back here. Laird here with another kill opportunity. That one able to still be alive at the net. DeCrony now with the long kill. Monarchs just barely able to keep that one alive. What a defensive set. And they'll get the kill. Sis ends up able to get the kill. It was a 2-touch setup. Glazer went after it. And then Allers put that one back over the net. And Corinne Bowers wants to call a timeout after that odd play.
I really think a key for this Westside team is just taking a deep breath at this point. You know, they've got a lot of errors in the past couple of points on their side of the net. It's up to them to bring themselves out of that and really come back to the level of volleyball that they know how to play at.
So we'll take a quick break here on WTV Live. Papillion-La Vista storming back here in the second set. We'll see what they can do when we come back. Back here, second set, Papillion-La Vista storming back, currently on a 6-1 run as this one tipped up and around. And Westside's going to have to give up this opportunity offensively. This one tipped up and goes down. Samantha Laird, I don't think meant to do that on that tip. But Westside adds another point. This big opportunity here. Westside needs momentum to stray away from these advancing Monarchs. Goligan will serve it away. Out of the corner, Sis. Big kill on the corner. Sis with her 3rd kill of the evening. And that far side that we've seen here for the Monarchs has been a big damper defensively for the Warriors. Is that something we've seen here tonight? We talked so much about film. Are the Monarchs really trying to look at that far side, that right side?
Well, I think a big weakness for the Warriors now is that Jocelyn Healy is up there and having to block, and she's not one of the taller girls on this team, and she's not used to having to put up a strong force at that net.
Beautiful dig there from Daniela Gold. This one tipped. Who are they going to give it to? They'll give it to Westside. It looks like Taverdi tipped that one back at the line, and as that one went back out, Coach Schwela going to argue that one, but Westside will keep the point, and Healy will serve. Tip out to the near side. Beautiful block. Madeline Siebler is hyped up for that one. And Westside back here with a 3-point lead.
Honestly, I think a big block like that, especially from senior Madeline Siebler, is exactly what this team needs to get the momentum back. They really, really, blocks are one of those things that they don't happen very often, but when they do, it gets exciting.
That one just able to get down. That was Siebler's second block of the evening. The Monarchs back and forth. They have not led here, but they're continually trying to stick around here up against Westside. Siebler here, that one blocked. Westside able to keep it alive. Another double hit there from the Dom Simpson. And once again, Papio talked about it so much tonight. This one has been close all throughout. Like we said, Papillion-La Vista has only been ahead twice here tonight. There's the first point in the second set and the 7th point in the first set. The Warriors trying to keep that lead. Big kill. Destiny Dom Simpson once again shows off her strength. It's her 3rd kill of the night.
That's part of the reason why I think Corinne has so much confidence in this team is because they're so mentally tough. Nadam Simpson can come back from, a double touch error and put the ball down in the very next play.
Taverdi with a little tip kill right there. Gonna go back out to the far side. Siebler with the kill. Siebler, how you doing tonight? Gets the block, then gets the kill on 2 receptions later, and the Warriors are up 3. She has had a night. Siebler 6 kills, 3 blocks, 4 digs, and the senior for this Warrior team continues to show out. Glazer here with the kill. And talk about Glazer's ability to switch herself up, especially after struggling that first set.
That's going back to mental toughness. That's such a big theme in the sport of volleyball is that, you have to be able to bounce back from errors, and that's something that she's been able to do really, really well in the second set. And then Riggs goes in there with, a serving error, so now Papillion just really has to focus on getting the ball back and moving on from those nitty-gritty errors that are really just, they're doing it to themselves.
Snodgrass will come in to serve. 8 aces on the season for Snodgrass. She puts this one in the middle. Make it 9. Anna Snodgrass. Beautiful serve in the middle of the Monarch defense, and Westside is trying to grow their lead. And Vela wants a timeout. Their last timeout of the second set, and Westside is continuing to grow momentum.
I really cannot talk enough about senior Madeline Siebler. We've seen her a lot in the past couple of points. You talked about it. She's got 6 kills tonight, 3 blocks and 4 digs. She's such an all-around player that, she's a leader for this team. She's been on the varsity volleyball team since she was a freshman, and she's always been an impact player. She knows how to play all sides of the ball, and she really can, she can put up a huge block at the net and the next play be in the back row and get a huge dig for the team. She's such a consistent player on all sides of the ball, and I think she needs a lot of appreciation for that.
And I think a big thing with Siebler too, during most games and during most setups before and after sets, she's not always truly as the emotional one or the calming one in a lot of presences, but after she makes a big play, she is up and hyped, and I think, while we really see Keeley being the one to be one that is calming and bringing atmosphere for this team, Siebler is the one that really hypes this team up.
Oh yeah, she brings all the fire to this team. She loves it when they get excited about stuff. And even when they're down about things, she's not afraid to be loud and speak up about it and really emphasize that, it's their errors that they're making and they have to make up for that.
Hitting error once again from Glazer. It's her 6th of the evening, and Westside is 5 points away. Another point for Westside. There's 4 points away. Snodgrass continuing to show out after starting her run here with an ace. Healy with a great dig to keep this one alive. Siebler with the open kill. This one blocked and out of bounds. Siebler, 7th kill on the night.
You know, a lot of what we've seen from this game is that both teams are very technically skilled. They're so good at what they do. They're so good at the game of volleyball. A lot of the errors that they're making are just, you know, mental errors. All of the serving errors, the hitting errors that we've seen on both sides of this court. And eliminating those errors is really what's going to make the biggest difference for the winner of this match tonight.
Madame Simpson with the big kill. Westside just 2 points away from taking this second set. We talked about not being able to finish. I know we're still far away from the Warriors being able to do that, but the momentum is very much so on Westside's side right now.
Well, and they make it a lot easier for themselves by winning the first 2 sets, you know. I know that something we've seen a lot from them in the past is that they've taken the first couple of sets and then they completely go away, but winning the first 2 sets gives them slightly less to worry about in the 3rd set.
Glazer here, that one blocked at the net. Kenzie Tekrani, she's able to do neuropsychology and able to block at the net. And Westside 1 point away from moving on to 2-0 here in this one. And a kill there from Allers might dampen the mood here. But Westside still up 8. And you'll see Isabella Lamb check in for Snodgrass.
This is where a lot of that serve-receive comes into play. You know, they can't afford to give up very many aces. They can't afford to let the ball drop this early in a rally. They've really got to, you know, put the ball up and put it down as quickly as they possibly can.
Glazer here, this one blocked and able to keep it alive is Westside. Siebler able to put it over. Allers with the kill, and Westside not able to get back defensively. So Allers now here tonight, able to add another kill to her total. 3 here. A beautiful second set from the Warriors, and specifically the senior right there. And Westside now leads this one 2-0. A beautiful start for the Warriors. How can they continue this?
Well, you just saw Madeline Siebler telling her team, let's go. Let's keep the momentum going. That's really what they have to focus on at this point in the game. They've won the first 2 sets. They have to keep the momentum. That's not something that they've been able to do before.
So real quick before we get to our 3rd set, look tonight at our Dunkin Trivia Question of the night. We're talking about Madeline Siebler once again, been a big presence tonight, but a huge presence for this team. As of course, like we mentioned in tonight's KB pregame show, last week against Burke, senior Montana State commit Madeline Siebler recorded her 1,000th career dig at Westside. Who has the Westside season record for digs?
My question is it somebody who would have been in high school during my time in high school?
No, it would have been, let me think here, would have been 2 years before.
Okay, well
2 years before.
In that case, I have no clue.
Once again, hashtag Dunkin Trivia on Twitter, or you can look on Westside Wired's Twitter as well. First person to get this one correct will get a $10 gift card to any Dunkin in the Omaha Metro and Council Bluffs area. Once again, a great night here for these Warriors. And they're up 2-0 here in this one. And we've talked so much about them being able to finish these games. It's been a big thing for this team. We talked about Gretna. We talked about Lincoln Southwest. We talked about a couple tournament games even against these Papillion-La Vista Monarchs a couple times. I mean, it's been such a big prevalence to this team. If this is a problem now, how can they get ready once it comes district and state time to be ready in those big matchups when they're going up against teams like Papio South, they're going up against teams like Lincoln Southwest?
You know, Destiny Dom Simpson said it really, really well herself, I think. It comes to grit and it comes to resilience, and that's two of the things that this team really has to find late in this season. And once they find it, they've got to hold on to it and not let that go.
So we'll head here just seconds away from the start of this third set. Reminder for everybody, hashtag Dunkin Trivia on Twitter and under the Westside Wired tweet, which will be out here in a moment. First person to get it correct, you will get a $10 gift card to any Dunkin' in the Omaha metro area. We're about to start this third set. Now look at the Monarchs side of the ball. How can they get back into this one? What did they learn from these last two sets?
You know, I've been saying it all game, and we've been saying it all season. Samantha Laird, Destiny Dom Simpson, Madeline Siebler, they're a huge, huge force at the net. Papillion really, you know, we've seen their efforts in this game to put a stop to their power at the net and really, you know, give themselves a little room to hit the ball themselves.
I'm not even sure what's candy is coming around here tonight. Bunch of friends from Red Shield throwing a bunch of candy up in the booth. That one hit the mic up here. Beautiful Westside community showing out for this volleyball team here tonight. Third set underway. And this one tipped back around. Isabel Lamb trying to put this one back over. And tipped back at the net. And a chaotic first rally here. Samantha Laird with the kill. That one stays alive for the Monarchs. Sis, easy one for Golinigan to keep within her. And Laird puts that one back over. Sis with the kill. An awkward one there after a long rally. And Sis, that's her fourth kill of the evening. And Papio starts off here in the third set. May I remind you, the third time tonight that we've seen Papio even lead in a single set. We saw once about halfway in the first set, once at the start of the second set, now here at the start of the third. They'll give that one to Westside. It looks like Taverdi was over the net. And a lot of arguing on both ends. They'll keep it to the Warriors, and Westside ties it back up.
And Westside is not going to waste that point that they were just given. Samantha Laird is really going to try hard to go on a run here.
Siskin just barely put it back over. Big opportunity now here offensively for the Warriors. Laird misses on that one. Unable to put that one back over. It's Laird's second hitting error of the evening. And Papillion-La Vista desperately needs momentum to keep themselves in this matchup. The Warriors have been so dominant here in this one. And that one goes out. Lily Zeberth with the serving error, and Westside ties this one back out. We'll see Anna Snodgrass back into the game for the Warriors. Snodgrass does have an ace here tonight. Totals her season to 9. And Taverdi blocked at the net. Beautiful block, Kenzie Tigrani.
I would almost say that, you know, Papillion's block defense, how they are surrounding the hitter just in case anything does come back over the net, it's lacking a little bit here tonight. And maybe it's because they don't expect teams to have a comeback for Taverdi and for Glazer, but, you know, Westside's really been able to put out that block really, really well.
Monarchs will tie it back up there. We'll see Snodgrass come back out, and Riggs back into the game at the libero position for the Monarchs. Beautiful kill, Destiny Dom Simpson, 5th of the evening. And once again, the brute strength of a lot of these outside and pin hitters for the Warriors continues to show out here tonight.
Well, and I know Destiny Dom Simpson's goals coming here to Westside was just to really, really have fun. And you can see that on the court and, you know, the way that she interacts with her teammates and the way that they all celebrate after getting a point. Like that one, you know, an ace serve or a kill or a block, they are all, you know, a point for the team, and this team does a really, really great job of celebrating those.
Siebler has shown out here tonight, and talk about that celebration. Siebler has been one of the most fired ones up here tonight. It's her first ace of the evening, but talk about just her ability all around the court. 8 kills as well as 3 blocks to the net for Siebler. Allers blocks! The connection continues. Kenzie Tekrani and Destiny Adam Simpson say no on that one. And Westside leads by 3 here in the third set.
Siebler, you know, still has the serve, and she doesn't even have to have the spotlight to get fired up. Even, you know, another block, she just got equally as fired up for her teammates.
A little bit of defensive miscommunication here for the Monarchs, but it ends up paying off. That definitely was not planned. Monarchs just trying to be able to get that one over, and they're lucky to find an open hole. Siebler make it 9. Madeline Siebler showing out in this third home game of the season. And Westside continuing to grow their lead here in this third set.
You know, there's a reason why Madeline Siebler plays in all 6 rotations. She can make something happen from any spot on the court.
Allers able to maybe regain some momentum back for the Monarchs. It's her 4th kill of the evening. And Glazer will be back to serve. Sis with the big kill. 5th of the evening for Anna Sis. And once again, like we saw in the first 2 sets this evening, Papillion-La Vista trying to work their way back.
Something that a lot of people like about the sport of volleyball is that it's an intricate balance between, you know, the other team's mistakes and the other team's skill, right? So Papillion-La Vista's offense, all of their hitters have a ton of skill, but, you know, some of Westside's mistakes defensively have also allowed them to rake up some points in that area of the court.
Tied back up at 7, and this one goes long. Papillion-La Vista takes their 4th lead of the evening. They've been scarce in this position. They really need to keep it in one here as they're down 2 sets here early. Siebler going to have to tip that one back over. Up across the middle, Aller just barely able to get it over. Still back at the net, and Goligan will keep it alive. Sis here, wide open defensive miscue for the Warriors. Saw 3 people on the near side, and Sis had a wide open hole. Another offensive mistake here for the Warriors. Papillion-La Vista now in a comfortable lead, and Coach Bowers wants a timeout.
Well, we saw in that last, you know, in their last receive, Destiny Dom Simpson sat back in a corner and let Madeline Siebler take her receiving spot. You'll see a lot of teams do that when a certain player is struggling. Something that a lot of high school varsity teams do is spot serve. If a certain receiver is struggling, then, you know, you nail that receiver and get as many points out of it as possible. Westside caught on to that pretty early. You know, Destiny Dom Simpson isn't quite having the game of her life tonight. She struggled a little bit on both sides of the ball, both defensively and offensively. So putting her in the back, I don't really blame them for that. They're doing what's best for the team, and she's being a good sport about it too. Obviously, nobody likes being taken out of their spot, but she has to take a deep breath and really, fix those mental errors.
So with that as well, just this overall team, we talk about how much power and athleticism this team has. The pin hitters are one of the most dominant that we've seen here in Class A, probably besides Papio South. But a big thing that we've seen with this team as well, they've somewhat lacked the confidence and ability defensively, other than we've seen from Healy and Gulligan. Is that a big thing for maybe one of these outside hitters to kind of give up some of their offensive responsibility to make up for it on the defensive side?
I mentioned it earlier. All of these players have so much skill on all sides of the ball. Destiny Dom-Simpson is a 6-rotation player, and she's been that way both in high school varsity volleyball and in club volleyball. She's got so much experience. It's just the mental toughness that is getting this team down right now. You make an error, you have to be able to come back from that.
Simpson, that one stays in. Nadam Simpson makes it her 6th kill of the night. And Westside back within 1.
And Simpson's really got to use that point to prove to herself, she's struggling a little bit right now, but she's still got so much talent and so much skill that she can use that to pull her out of this.
This one will just go out. That one looked like it hit the corner. Shvela wanted that call, but Westside will get it back, and it's tied at 10. Allers, that one able to give it up to Nadam Simpson. Laird looking here for the kill, and she gets it. Samantha Laird, number 5 on the night. And Westside takes the lead back over. Sis able to get another kill, and Papio is back even. It's her 7th of the evening.
Danielle Gulligan back in that back corner. She really had to reach for that one to try to catch it, and it just barely went out of bounds. But, something I haven't seen a lot between Gulligan and Destiny Dom-Simpson is that, when you're playing those back positions, that corner and the very back spot on defense, you're supposed to cross over each other, and that's not something we've seen from either of them.
Westside with a big play there. Defensively, Nadam Simpson just reached out her left arm to keep that one over, then a big block at the net from Isabella Lamb. And Taverdi tonight, although does have 2 kills, has been blocked a lot this evening, especially for her strength and ability at the net. Sis here with a kill opportunity. Westside able to tip that one back up. Westside 2 straight blocks, but it just goes out. Although Westside was not able to get that point, just the back and forth of Westside not being able to allow that one even to get to their back court is a big thing to talk about.
Well, they've been putting up a strong force at the net all night, and, that's just another proof of it. And Madeline Siebler up at the net, that's an error, but
able to get the kill, continues her strong night. She ties Simpson here for 2nd among Warriors with 6 kills on the evening.
I think we both went a little quiet watching that rally, but Samantha Laird takes the serve.
Defensive miscue once again for the Warriors, and Papio ties this one back up.
talked a little bit at the beginning of the game about, the adjustment from Jocelyn Healy going from libero to the setter position, but I think a bigger adjustment that this team is going to have to work on is Danielle Gulligan coming in and playing the libero spot.
Beautiful kill, Dustin on Simpson. Beautiful ability all around for the Warriors, and Simpson gets her 7th kill. Snodgrass will come in. We mentioned her tonight. Does have 1 ace and helped the Warriors go on a 5-0 run back in the second set. And second ace of the night for Snodgrass. The senior shows off her ability. Long reception there, and Tikrani takes advantage. It's her first kill of the evening, but the Warriors now lead by 3 and are a prime opportunity and will force a timeout. Westside all over in this home one.
Well, and, they really are hitting it hard in this game, but like I said earlier, Danielle Gulligan is having to make a huge adjustment in the libero spot, Jocelyn Healy is so talkative in the back row, and she's a very take-charge person. Danielle Gulligan hasn't really proved to be that kind of person on the court yet tonight. She's not communicating as well as Jocelyn Healy is, and she's not really stepping up and taking some of those balls that she should take responsibility for as a libero.
The big thing here, just even looking right here on our screen, just how happy this team is, how pumped up this team is, whether they're on the bench or playing. This team has a really good team chemistry. What we talked about all season is really just being able to put it all together to be able to get those big wins. And they're really in prime position right now to be able to take this one home, and in 3 sets nonetheless.
Well, if they want to take it in 3, they've got to come out on top of Papillion-La Vista 9 more times in this set. If they really want to take it in 3 and keep it at 25 points in this set.
So Snodgrass right after the ace will bring this one back in, and it's second ace. Snodgrass pumped up after that one, back-to-back aces. So 3rd on the night, 11th of the season.
Something that a lot of coaches try to do in high school volleyball is, freeze the server by taking a timeout, because it's really hard to come back and get another ace serve after a timeout, after you've had a little bit of that mental break, and we didn't see it there in that point right away, but Anna Snodgrass obviously lost to focus a little bit, setting that one so far out of bounds.
So we'll see Riggs, the libero, come in for the Monarchs. We've only really seen one big run for the Monarchs so far here today. That was a 7-0 run back in the second set. They need a big one here. But Kenzie Tikrani wants the momentum back. An awkward kill there, but finds it in the back corner. Just out of reach of Samantha Laird in the backcourt. Allers able to get another kill, and Papio still keeps this deficit at 3. Allers' 5th kill of the evening. Make it 6 for Allers. Papio within 2 here in the 3rd set. And Westside trying to keep themselves away from these Monarchs as they try to keep themselves alive here in this match. I do not know what else to say. Defensively, I'm scared. I'm scared to sit back and watch that ball come straight at me. I'm giving props to the Monarch defense for being able to go up against that one, because, Simpson just freak ability at the net. And so far tonight is just behind Madeline Siebler. Simpson with 8 kills on the night. This also has 2 blocks at the net. Double touch for the Monarchs. Defensive miscues have hurt Papillion-La Vista all night. And Westside will take over serving duties once again.
I don't know if this is a method that Bowers and her team uses, but something that you'll see a lot in volleyball is, you want to be the first team to hit 5 points. You want to be the first team to hit 10 points. That's something that Westside's been able to do really, really well in all 3 sets so far tonight.
Another double touch there from Jocelyn Healy. It's her first of the evening. And somewhat of a miscue there for Healy that we don't really see too often.
Well, I mentioned it earlier, she's a defensive player. Anytime that she normally uses her hands, it's for defense. And defensively, you never call a double touch because they're receiving generally a pretty hard hit ball. But as a setter, she's really got to find that rhythm, and she's got to be able to figure that out.
Madame Simpson right there ties Madeline Siebler here tonight in kills. 9 for the both of them tonight. Samantha Laird is right behind them at 6, and Kensington Tekrani rounds it out with 2 more. But the pin hitters for the Warriors have been big here, and they're just 4 points away from taking this one in 3 straight sets as the Monarchs are trying to crawl back in this one.
This rotation particularly is one that I've noticed that Westside has struggled a little bit in. Jocelyn Healy is really, really having to put up a strong block, which is not something she's used to doing.
Simpson not able to put all the strength into that one, but just barely gets over and fools the Monarch defense. And after so many huge hard-hit kills from Simpson, I think the Monarch defense is just off kilter after that one.
Well, that's part of technical training, From the back row, you don't have the angle at the court that you would from the front at the net. You've got to take a little bit of the fire off the bat ball to keep it in bounds. And, the spot that she chose to hit in that one is not one that she technically goes not one that she normally goes for. So she's really just switching it up, which is helping this Westside team a lot.
Simpson, this one goes too long. And Papio, once again, sticking around. Only down 2 here. Hickey trying to get something going here. Does have 1 ace on the evening. See if Westside can try to put this one away here in 3 straight sets. Far out to the near side. This one tipped up. Great kill from Siebler. But the Monarchs keep it alive. Sis blocked at the net. Madeline Siebler, my goodness. Have a night. The senior continues to show out. It makes it her 4th block of the night. And Westside in good position here. Easy kill there for Isabella Lamb. She's the first Warrior outside of the big 3 to get a kill here tonight. And Westside 1 single point away from bringing this home. We ended with an ace. Samantha Laird and the Warriors, a statement win here at home. The Warriors move on to 8-8 on the season. Papillion-La Vista will move to 13-10, 9-8 for the Warriors. And a big win here. They continue to show out. I mean, we've seen these 2 teams go up against each other twice this season. Papillion-La Vista has been able to show some kind of fight in all of them. But tonight, Westside finds their groove and takes this one home easily.
Well, we've seen it a couple times, in this game from this Westside team. They make those mental errors and then they come back from them as quickly as they possibly can. They have shown such mental toughness in tonight's game that I'm really impressed, and hopefully they can keep this going into the next couple of games of their season.
Final stats here for the Warriors. Nadon Simpson leads the team tonight after that last one at the 24-point mark with 10 kills on the evening. She had 2 blocks and 4 digs. Siebler right behind her at 9 kills, 1 ace, 4 blocks, and 4 digs of her own. But the team overall continues to show out and build this group overall.
So, their upcoming matches in the coming weeks are Lincoln North Star, not a top 10 team, not really a team that's shown a ton of talent this season and in seasons past. Westside generally comes out on top of that match. And then they play Papillion-La Vista South, which is on top of Class A right now. They're in the lead. They really are the team to beat so far this season. And after that game, Millard West, that's 2 tough teams right in a row. They're really, really going to have to, bring it all for those 2 games.
A lot of really big game for the Warriors coming up later on this season. Make sure to stick around here tonight for the KB post-game show. We'll talk with our Time 42 player of the game and get some insight on how the Warriors were able to take down this top 10 team in Papillion-La Vista in such a statement way.
a lot of emotions when you hand the keys over to a new driver. We want you to buckle up, slow down, and please no texting while driving. Our family cares about your family, and your safety is our #1 priority. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less. Visit us at one of our 4 convenient locations or dingmans.com.
Welcome here on the KB post-game show. I'm with our Time 42 player of the game, Madeline Siebler. 9 kills here tonight, an ace, 4 blocks, and 4 digs. It was a series sweep here up against Papillion-La Vista. It's the first time you guys have ever swept Papillion. It's the first time you guys have also beaten Papio 2 times in the same season. I mean, it's just continuing great efforts for this team. How was it out there tonight?
It felt so good. I don't even know what else to say. This is really big for us. You know, we've been struggling like finishing games. That just this past weekend, we beat Papio in the first set. We should have beat them in the second set, and then we lost them in 3. So to be able to come out here tonight and sweep them is just such a big accomplishment for us. Like, we were just clicking out there, and it felt really good.
So a big thing with this as well is you're only your 3rd home game of this season. I talked with Kenzie, you know, she's talking about so much of how losing that Westside community type thing. How good did it feel to be back home for this one?
So good. I mean, just people being able to watch. I know some of my family was here tonight, and just like, especially after last year, people being able to come, and I think a lot more people want to watch us play this year. So being able to play at home and beat Papio at home is awesome. I mean, yeah.
So a big thing with that as well, I mean, we talked so much, I mean, Corinne's talked about so much this season, just not being able to finish games as much against some really top 10 opponents. You have Lincoln North Star later this week, but then you go up against Papillion-La Vista South and then Millard West. Those are 2 of the top 3 teams in the state. How can you guys continue this momentum up against some of the best teams around the country?
We said that this game we played so well because we played with no fear and we had each other's backs, and that's what we've been working on all season. And I think if we play like that again, we work through the little bumps throughout the game and just come back like stronger than ever after we get down, like we'll be good. Just like continuing communicating and like having each other's backs, like I said.
So a big thing with this team, I mean, final question here, just to look at this team overall, there's been so much aspirations for this team, the talent that's a part of this team, and the hope of what can possibly be once we get to district and once we get to state time. What are the biggest things that you guys feel you guys might need to change or add on to before we get into about a month later in the season once we get into district and playoff time?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've been playing really close with a lot of top teams, and this is the time of year we want to be peaking and getting better. So as far as changing, you know, Jocelyn started setting. She's been doing a great job. I think just continuing to get to know each other better. I mean, we're still like a new team. A lot of us are playing together for the first time. So keep having tough conversations off the court about, hey, what do I need to do to encourage you? What do you need from me? And just to know that we're there for each other, and again, playing with no fear, being aggressive every play, and just like working through the tough points of the game.
Thank you so much, Madeline. Our Time 42 player of the game. Westside wins this one in 3 straight sets. A big top 10 win. They'll go up against Lincoln North Star on Thursday. Thank you guys so much for watching here tonight. Jaden Taylor alongside Tallie Pease and the entire WTV Live crew. We'll be back next Friday as Westside football takes on Norfolk. Have a good night.